Monica yet.
It's recording.
See, Ira's in and out. Okay, so I'll call the meeting to order at 12:01 p.m. Bruce, do you see in the column the participants' names for attendance? Can you see that? Okay. So that will be our roll call so we have a quorum. I don't see Monica or Peter yet. Let's get started. Do we have a motion to read or waive the reading of the minutes that Bruce was just talking about?
A second.
Move that we waive the minutes of the reading of the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Okay.
All those in favor, just raise your hands. All right. Marvin's stuck to the keyboard. All right. Motion passes. Let's go into reports of officers. So Bruce, you signed on early, and I know you were talking about the proclamation, bike month, things like that. So do you have a report?
At the last VSAC meeting that I was at, that's for those of you who don't know, that's an advisory committee to the Palm Beach County Transportation Authority. They requested that we issue, they're requesting that every bike club, riding group, municipality, whatever, who has an interest in safety on the roads, issue a proclamation. The skeleton format for it was, I forwarded that on to Mike. We did this proclamation last year. It's basically stating that we're committed to safe cycling, and I guess that's really about it. We unanimously agreed to it last year. It's the same thing this year. So,
And we can make a motion now to approve a proclamation to send or wait for new business. How do you guys want to handle that? Just approve it?
yeah, we're talking about it now. So
Uh,
go ahead.
Is there anybody who disagrees with us to send a proclamation to the city supporting their bike week, bike month
Well, it's to the county. So
in the county, right? Nobody disagrees? All those in favor? Raise your hands. All right, motion passes.
just a note. I see a couple of people that are new to attending the meetings. The board directors and officers are the only ones really voting. So
I
we
do see
appreciate
that.
it. When it comes time
Oh.
for other input, we're more than happy to entertain whatever you have to say.
Right.
And
So-
thanks for coming.
Right, so I do see three members. There's Ira, Anna, and Maria. If you want to introduce yourselves, or do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Anna. I'm looking to get into the sport of cycling, so I wanted to join and meet some of the members and get all the information. I live in Boca Raton, and I play other sports, but I'm really interested in this year focusing on learning everything about cycling.
Very good. Glad to
It's a
have you.
great sport.
Maria?
Yeah, I'll go next. I'm actually Joe.
Joe.
Zoom has it for
That's
my
right.
wife and myself, Maria Jose. And
All
we joined in the fall, I think, and just renewed. So we live in Delray Beach and just looking for ways to be more involved with the group.
Thanks, Joe. Glad to have you. And Ira, I'll use
I'm
you as a
Ira
group
Goldberg. Been a member a long time. Hi, guys.
Thanks for coming. All right, so next, I saw Monica, you signed in. Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you. I'm here. Hello.
Perfect. Why don't we go to your report? I know you're working on some socials, so you have the floor.
Yeah,
Let me interrupt just for a second. Just a
Sure.
quick rundown for the new members. Mike Simon is the president. Monica is the vice president. I am the secretary and Nell is the treasurer. Marv is our webmaster. And there's Joe too.
Joe's on the board.
Joe's our emeritus member of the
I don't
board.
know, what's Peter doing? Hold on. All right, Monica, you have the floor. Peter's coming. Right, Peter?
Sure. I want to just give an update on our upcoming social. So we have two options. I wanted to open up
Yeah,
to
you're
the
probably on the
board
wrong.
and
I'll send
members
you
to
the,
see
I'll forward you
if we have a
the-
preference. So Wednesday, the 28th or Thursday, the 29th at the Cove Brewery. I spoke with Melissa Weshel, who's the owner of the Cove Brewery, her and her husband. And if we do Wednesday, the 28th, they have a wine promotion, half off glasses of wine with the captain's list and sake. And there's always the food next door from Wontom's, and they offer tableside service. If we do Thursday, the 29th, they have $3 off of all beers and half off of all chicken wing orders. And they have a variety of chicken wing options that you can get that comes over from St. Pat's that's in the Cove area. So I don't know if there is a preference of days or if you just like me to pick, but I thought since I have the options, I just got them from her this morning. They've been a little slow in responding. I thought I'd open it up to the board to see if there's a preference. And again, that's Wednesday, February 28th or Thursday, February 29th.
Time with that start. The time,
6 to 9 p.m. it will be.
okay.
So
I prefer the 29th. I'm busy the 28th, so.
Me too.
okay,
Me too.
Thursday, the 29th, 6 to 9 p.m. Okay, so then I'll confirm and lock that in if that's good with everyone. Sounds like it works. And I will.
What's the
Sorry,
name of
go
that?
ahead.
That's the
It's-
Cove Brewery?
Yeah, so Marvin, for sending it out, it's the Cove Brewery. It will be Thursday, February 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. It'll be our club social. We'll have drink tickets. I'm working with Melissa on that. And again, if you want to put in there, we can let them know it's $3 off of beers, or I'm sorry, $3. Let me just get that right. I'm looking at her email. It is $3 off all beers and 50% off all chicken wing orders. And there are other menu options, like I said, from Wontom's next door and that. but-
So we would give a free drink to club members, and then after that, it's the $3 off.
Correct. You
Okay,
get one free drink, $3 off and half off chicken wings. So if you want to put that out on a calendar, it would be great. And if you want me to write up something to send out to all the members, I can do that too.
I'll send you a test one and you could do whatever you want with it.
Perfect.
Edit it.
Okay. And then I can,
Do you think there's any way to get this information to the Cove group to see if maybe we get some of them to attend and then get them to join the club?
yeah, I don't have a mailing list for who's in the Cove Riding Group, but
Someone is down there when they start.
Yeah, we'll get Keith Seago to hand out flyers. But yeah, that's probably the only way to do it.
yeah.
Little
Or,
cards.
or maybe even just, we could post it on their Facebook page.
They have a page?
Could just do a
Okay.
QR code for it.
I think they do. Maybe, I'll
right.
check.
Yeah,
I'll
if you
check.
want to check on that, Ira, that we could then post it out there to them and, put the
Or we
link.
could just get it over to Tony. Tony seems to be kind of the de facto leader of the group. We could get it to him and he could distribute it.
Okay.
Now, do you
And
want to
then-
offer it to other clubs too, like the WAGs? Even though they're Northwest?
I just thought the Cove, because we're gonna be at the Cove, I thought it just made sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's wise to open it up to anybody who's interested in, learning about our club or wants to join our club. I don't know that it matters where they're located at if they're
Yeah.
interested in being part of the
Okay.
club.
I'll put it on everybody's Facebook pages.
Yeah,
Good.
that would be great. And then, you know what, Mike, what I'll need to get either from you or we can talk about it from the side, or if there's any input in this, I want to ask Melissa if the Cove would like to be a sponsor of ours, because I figure wherever we're doing socials, I think it would be nice if we can get them to sponsor us, because if we're going to bring business in at least, once a month or every other month, if we're sharing the love between like the Cove, Prosperity and
Great idea.
Beer Garden. I just don't know what we would be giving them for the sponsorship levels. I know we were talking about that last year, but I don't know that we ever really settled on what exactly would they get for like a $500 sponsorship if they did that. And we don't have to answer that right now, but
Well, we're working on one of the topics today will be new jerseys that we sell at the end of the year. So to tell them that, they get on the jersey plus we want to expand some programs, and they got a Bikes for Tykes thing coming up, so they go on the banners. But we'll figure that out. I sent you that kind of template of membership levels. Anything else, Monica?
The only other thing that I have is I need to coordinate with Nell to get our monthly ladies ride going again. So Nell, I'll reach out to you. I've just been traveling very heavily with work, so I haven't been around to do that. And then the other piece I'm going to do for socials going forward, I want to create kind of a social calendar, at least like 4 months out if we can do that. So I'm going to work between the Cove, Prosperity, and Beer Garden as 3 locations, and just, you know, maybe cycle our love around and switch it up each month or every other month and go somewhere different between those 3. But they look like they're the 3 best options that work out now. And if we can get 4 months of the next 4 months out on the calendar, that would be great.
Okay, it's a good idea.
That's all I got.
Monica, do you have the banners still at your house?
I
You should
do.
have 2 banners. Okay, so you can bring those to the, well, actually, I don't know if you can set them up at the social, but if you do the ladies' ride, at least you'll have 2.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to set them up at the social as well, but don't we need, well, I guess I just find a hose or something, because we need water for the base to
Yeah, whatever.
this things up.
Monica, if you had any interest in doing one of these at Crazy Uncle Mike's, I'm very friendly with all the managers there. So if you have any interest, I can arrange that for us.
Yeah, I'm always
Okay.
open to new locations. So, yeah, Ira, why don't we just reach out to each other and get more info on that? Because I know Crazy Uncle Mike's always, it has, has a pretty good music.
Yeah, I mean,
Venue
they'll have
too,
music
so-
during happy hour every night. It's a good spot.
Yep. Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Monica.
Sure.
So you had Vice President, oh, Marvin, you have anything to say on the site? I think it's running pretty smooth.
Yeah, I was just going to get the list of all the people that signed on for the club insurance, but never signed on to the club. You know, the agreement. I got to send out to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, treasure report.
Okay, so
We have some.
as of this morning, Regions Bank account current balance is $40,182.45. On Friday, February 16th, Mike and I went to Regions Bank to update the signatories. And due to a number of issues, I'm transitioning my role from treasurer, and I'll be working with the team to make that transition as orderly as possible. And I know I've been given, I haven't spoken with Ira, but Ira and I will be speaking after this to discuss roles, responsibilities, etc., and how we move forward.
Thanks,
Happy to
Nell.
help any way I
So-
can.
So, Nell and I, when we met at the bank, we had a discussion of lessening the her workload, and I called Ira. Ira has stepped up, and thankfully he's on the call today. He's willing to take over the lead role as treasurer. I'd like the board to approve that. Now, most of you all know Ira. I think everyone knows Ira. He's been a longtime member, and I've talked to Ira. Obviously, he's in the financial and the mortgage lending business. He has his own business. He knows how to do QuickBooks. He can balance a checkbook, and he's been familiar with the organization for many years. I'd like to have him installed as treasurer, and I'd like to make a motion to do that right now. And then Nell will stay on in a transition role, as she just said. So I guess this is
second that.
kind of new to the board. I did mention it to Bruce, I think, actually this morning and yesterday. But none of you probably were aware that we're going to try to help Nell out with the workload. And then she'll be like as a supervisor, transition, I think is what she said. Is there any discussion on that, or do you all approve to have
I'd just
Ira?
Mike, Peter, I'd just like to hear from Ira a little bit. before we actually vote.
Sure. Ira, you still there?
I'm here. What can I help you? What can I tell you?
Yeah. Well, you look very relaxed where you are now.
I guess
Tell us a little.
I am in my massage chair, getting recuperating from this morning's torture chamber.
I appreciate your volunteering to help us.
No worries.
But what have you seen so far with if you've reviewed any of the financials?
I haven't seen anything. This literally, Mike and I spoke last night at 5 o'clock. He told me he needed some help. Yeah, I'm familiar with QuickBooks, and that's certainly, pretty familiar with the club, and I'm happy to help. I've tried to step in and help with various projects over the years. And this kind of fits right in my wheelhouse.
Great, thanks.
He's also been a sponsor. So on the back of the jersey, you'll see his company name, and also on the emails I send, his company sponsors our club. And I guess he knows Crazy Uncle Mike. That's got to mean something.
Okay.
All right. So any other questions?
What's
Yeah.
Nell's title then? She was treasurer. What should I give her on the club, on the site?
Nell,
You want to put
Nell and I,
Advisor?
At
yeah, an
large.
advisory board, yeah,
Okay.
At large. We usually use at large.
at large. No, that's okay, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
advisor
at
at large?
Sure. For now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nell, and thanks for everything. Nell and so everyone knows, Nell and I went through it. We were at the bank yesterday. Everything seems to be in good order. We have our tax forms that are due. Ira
Hirschfein, yes.
Hirschfein is the club CPA. So he files returns in the form 990. I gave Nell the letter showing that our sales tax exemption is good through August 2024. So we're good there. And then we're going to review our Department of Agriculture filings for the year, so that Ira, you just take things and run with it. The other thing that Nell had suggested, or we talked about this morning, is that in our minutes, if you look back, you'll see that the club has allocated a certain amount of funds towards our Bikes for Tykes, which was close to like 20,000 from what I remember. Going forward, one of the things we may do, and I'll talk to Nell and Ira about it, is that in our region's bank account, we might create like a sub account so we can keep better track of who designates their donation to Bikes for Tykes. So when we add that deposit, it will go in a sub account, still in the same bank, commingled with our charitable funds, but we can better designate how much money we have to buy bikes. Other than that, I think everything was, business as usual, but we're going to help Nell out with the workload. Anything else, Nell? Anybody? Any discussion? All right, good. Thank you. I have a, yeah.
As far as a ride, if you want to take it up now, I was just curious if we should do a Lake Worth ride to the Street Painting Festival. I don't know.
When is that?
I don't know, next weekend, 24th and 25th. They don't really start opening it up for painting till 10. So I know I'm going to go there, but you'd have to go later to make it at 10. So I don't know, at a Del Rey at 9 or something.
It's not a bad idea.
I know Bruce had a client there that we parked at his lot one time. I don't know if, otherwise just tell people to bring locks if you want to have a ride. Just throwing it out there.
All right, thanks, Marvin. I guess we have to get some discussion and maybe a ride leader if you want to be a ride leader. I mean, you could
Sure.
set up on the webs, put on the
Okay.
calendar, get a message out that, we all meet somewhere and head over there.
Okay.
All right, thanks. I have a very brief president report. So as you know, there was the terrible crash in Gulfstream. The reporters often on call or look for somebody from the club to give a quote. I got a call yesterday from the Coastal News who advised me about the crash report. And if you went on A1A today, you saw the Gulfstream police are a little more aware, and they were barking out orders to stay single file in that area. I don't have a problem with them telling the cyclists to go single file. It seems a little rude, but at least they're trying to do something. They're more alert of the traffic and the bikes. So you'll see more stories reported on the crash. The crash report came out. The woman who hit the cyclist apparently had an epileptic seizure. She was driving without insurance. She was driving with a suspended license. And she was cited for non-criminal infraction of crossing the center line. I don't know what's going to happen. With her on her traffic tickets, doesn't seem that they treated it very serious. I mean, driving with a suspended license and is not good. And I don't know how long her license been suspended. So we don't know how long she hasn't had an eye test or whatever you're supposed to have to maintain an active license. Essentially, she was off the radar.
Well, somehow they said that she was that she was driving unknowingly on a suspended license, which is far less offensive than apparently driving knowing you're on a suspended license.
Yeah, so it's really hard to be unknowing suspended license.
I know.
So my license, the state sent me a couple letters last month. My license was going to be suspended because I had a car that I sent to my daughter in Connecticut. My insurance was canceled. I didn't own the car anymore. But my license was within 30 days. I got a notice my license was being suspended because my Fiat 500 was not insured. I had to provide the license. I had to get the license plate, and the day before I lost my license, I finally got it reinstated. I didn't lose it, but the notices that come to you, they come to the address on your driver's license. So you're going to get several notices before your license is taken away. But I don't know how it becomes unknowing. Anyway, that's the law. That was the report.
They took mine away instantly when I rented a second car, released a second car, and they had the wrong date. They took it away instantly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
But they didn't say why her
No,
license was suspended.
oh, they did it. But I had to go through the whole process like Mike said.
No, not
Yeah,
you,
but
the lady who hit
Oh.
who hit
No,
the cyclist.
we don't know. We don't know why her license was suspended.
probably no insurance.
Oh, that's a good
Because
point.
she had no insurance. Because when the reporter said, "Oh, did you know she had no insurance?" How do you feel about that? Like, well, she had no insurance. She was going to have her license is going to get suspended. She goes, so the reporter reads down the report. She goes, "You're right. Her license was suspended." So yeah, that's the state. They don't wait too long. The insurance companies report you immediately. Anyway.
But given that situation, Mike, she would have known, because if she didn't have insurance, then she knows the impact of no insurance is going to be a suspended license, so she would have had some type of notification. It wouldn't have been an immediate.
Yeah, well, you know
Anyway,
that if you want to know it.
Just a question in general in
yeah.
Florida with insurance. If you get hit by an uninsured driver, is there like a limit or anything? I know in New York they had a limit. Do you have any
No.
recourse?
Oh, you mean well, your own insurance.
Your insurance covers it, or?
Your insurance, if you have your own insurance, you should have like about a $10,000 coverage, like a no-fault coverage for your own insurance. But Ricardo, one of was a husband and wife were hit. Ricardo's still in the hospital. He was in very bad shape. Now I haven't talked to the crash victims at all, but you'll still see news about it. And so I think it's very important for our club to remain vigilant, follow the lessons of your ride leaders, and take their advice. They've been doing it a long time, and they're familiar with the roads that we ride. Respect the police, respect the other drivers. They don't respect us all the time, but there's ways to make it safe. The area where that crash happened is not a wide road, and if you rode on it today, you see all those pine needles were actually in the road, and there was no shoulder whatsoever. I want to move on to say a couple other things that happened this week. I contacted the Milagro Center. I had been mentioning this to Monica for probably several months, that I was going to get a hold of of a charitable center in Delray. It's called the Milagro Center. Their director responded to me yesterday. I think I forwarded you her email. They are more than happy to have us do Bikes for Tykes for their kids. It's like an after school um, um, program, arts program for kids. Not, how would you describe it? Not very wealthy. It's like assistance to help these kids where their parents are working, or their parents, I think, are farmers,
It originally
and
started to help the kids of migrant farmers.
yeah. So um, I think it's a good cause. These are kids that would really need the bikes and the helmets. So we'll work on that. We're going to have to reach out because I think they're going to need 60 bikes. So I need people to get involved. See if Dimitri at Walmart will give us the bikes. We have money left over from Marshall's, their donation, Norm Weinstein's donation. We still have money left over. We're going to have to order new headlights, those little flashers, or maybe even a better light if you want. Um, Contact National Assembler, see if they'll build the bikes for us like they did last time for free. And then we got to get transportation, delivery of the bikes and to the Milagro Center. I'll get the details on how many kids are going to be, and then we can work from there. You'll see emails outside of our next meeting, before the next meeting, and I'm going to try to reach out to all the members. Last time, I think, Bruce, besides you, there were like 5 or 6 people that helped with transportation that aren't on the board. They really stepped up to help. I think this time we'll even get more people. But I like to have these events because it's one of the reasons why we're here, besides just riding bikes. And hopefully we get these kids enthusiastic about bikes. This week I received, I think, 22 new helmets from the state. We can use those helmets to give to the kids at Milagro Center. I'll have to order more. I ordered those helmets because we are sponsoring the rides for the orphans again this year. I think our sponsorship level is $500. Is that right now? Do you remember? Was it 500 for Ride for Orphans? I
I'm
think that
looking
was our
at-
level.
I think I put that in, yes.
Okay, so we'll have a table, we'll do helmet fittings again. And I know, Ira, you were there last year at the church, at registration fitting helmets, and Bruce was there too. Um, so, that's part of why I got these helmets, but we'll need to get more. So that's basically my president's report. Always, it's a very fluid club. There's always things happening. There's always ideas, like Marvin's idea of the Lake Worth. Bring your ideas to us, and I'd love to support all of them. And if money is needed to support these ideas, Nell has confirmed we have over $40,000 in the bank account. That's a lot of money for a bike club. So let's put it to good use.
Hey, Mike, quick
yeah.
question on the Milagro. Is that still going to be around the holiday time, or are we going to do this at a different time of year?
I'm thinking, I responded to the director, her name's Barbara, and I suggested maybe spring break or the end of the school year for the
Somewhere
kids. A lot of it is going to be dependent on how many bikes do they need, and how are we going to get the bikes? We were very lucky last time that Walmart just said, "Here, take the bikes." We didn't have to pay for them, and also that National Assemblers built them. So we were very fortunate to get those sponsorships. And I don't think there's a need to contact Marshalls. I'd like to report back to them and said, "Here's how your money's been used." Because last year I don't even think we spent $2,000 giving away 20 bikes. And even then, at that giveaway, there were the people who showed up. Obviously, we had our handful of board members, but we had a lot of non-board members helping put those bells on and get the bikes ready for the kids. It was very exciting. Next on the agenda, I'm going to go to unfinished business. Peter, you're still here? You jump off?
I'm still here.
Okay, so Peter, I don't know if you've gotten any ideas or even looked at the calendar for the the bike festival, I think in the fall. It's Mount Dora.
Yes,
But I know you want to do that ride. I'd love to do that ride. And we will do it as a club ride. Any thoughts, anything that you want
yeah,
to?
yeah, I have looked at they've already set up a website. It's been up there for a month now. And it identifies the dates, the place, lists several places for accommodations, gives the prices, and I'm ready to contact any of the accommodations. But I'd like to know direction from the board is how many rooms we want to reserve, because we tried this last year, and by the time we contacted them, all the rooms were taken. So if we have an idea of how many rooms we want to reserve, and then we have to put down a deposit for those rooms. So if we can stay at one place, great. If we need more than one place, because a lot of these are bed and breakfasts and some small hotels with limited capacity. So I just need some direction from the board before I contact them. And then once let's say it's, I don't know, 10 rooms, do we have corporate credit card, the association that we could use to reserve the room or send them a check or however we want to do it?
How many
Yes
did
and
we
yes.
have last year? How many people participated last year in it from the club?
I don't know.
Yeah. When was the year they had the hurricane? It wasn't last year, it was the year before.
Yeah, it was the year before, it was a hurricane.
The Lakeside Inn is obviously the most convenient place, but also the most popular, but it really is a great spot. It's old and kind of beat up, but it's a great spot because once you park, you don't really need to get in your car again. The rides leave right from there. You can walk to restaurants. It's right on the lake. It's a great spot. And it's the biggest place in town too.
And
So-
on a good year, I think we've had like 8 to 10 people up there.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't get more than 5 rooms, Peter. For Horrible 100, I think the first year I did 20 rooms set aside. We only used, I think, 12. And then so last year I think I asked to set aside 12 rooms and we used 6. So I wouldn't do more than 5. to
Or maybe they
reserve.
could just hold them for us for 90 days or something so people can decide if they want to go. We'll know how many we have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they might-
usually when you block off rooms, they give you a pay by
Window.
date.
Right.
That's right.
And then they just cut the rooms loose if you don't
Right.
pay
Yeah.
for them by then. But I don't know what time, when you have to confirm that with them, Peter, but maybe it would make sense too, if we can create a little flyer on this or some printout that we could
Exactly what I was gonna say.
promote at the club social coming up on the 29th. That'll give you, it'll give more
Peter,
people.
what's the date?
Yeah, let me look it up.
It
I'm gonna go
says
to the website right
13th
now.
and 14th if I'm on the right side.
13th and 14th
If
of,
I'm on the right side of
is that
October.
October? Is that October?
Yeah, Cycling Mount Dora, is that just maybe last year's, I'm just,
Yeah, it's usually always October, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's October 13 to 14.
yeah,
Okay.
but I'm only seeing Saturday rides.
That would have been last year. This year, the 14th is a Monday, so.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's gotta be
okay.
last year.
Yeah, sorry.
Nope.
And Yom Kippur is on the
Okay,
12th, so,
That's what
Not
yeah,
bad.
they've conflicted with the holidays in the past.
yeah. So we could do a penance ride.
You're right.
I see it as Friday, the 11th through Sunday, the 13th.
I see that too.
So it's right over Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Just
You can
throwing,
ride, but you can't eat.
just throwing something at you. We always had a group that went the week after and the place was empty and we could get into any restaurant and the hotels were half the price and they were empty.
Yeah, we
Out there.
did that too once.
I just put in the chat the link. It's the
Oh, thank you.
50th annual.
Well, Peter, if it's Yom Kippur, you're gonna go?
I'd still go. I mean, yeah, it's
All
not,
right, all
I'm
right,
not
good.
that religious, so.
Yeah, okay, so I don't, from experience with the Horrible 100, I wouldn't commit to more than 5 rooms.
Well, I don't
And
have
if
the, I don't have the corporate credit card, but I'll inquire about 5 rooms.
Yeah, 5, and then what happens is Nell and I were at the bank yesterday, they're sending us the new, it's a debit card that we
Okay.
have from Regions,
Fine.
right now?
Yes.
guess,
And hey,
But following Monica's suggestion, I think we should draft some sort of a brochure we can hand out and email all the members or put it on the website to solicit interest.
well, I would promote it at the club social too. Just, I mean, you could probably just pull, just print out the page off their bike festival site and use that, because I'm sure it has a date, location and all that. But when you're looking at the rooms, Peter, I would ask about if you did more, like if you did a block of 10 rooms, just hypothetically,
Right.
when would, if they're just going to cancel and if they'll, at a certain date, if they'll just let them go and there's no, incurred expense to us to have, say, 10-room block, I would go with that just in case it'd be better to have some and lose rooms than to not have enough if you do get interest.
Right. And so Michael and others, there's a team name, we can create a group ride on the website. So let me know if you want to.
And people could register under the Boca Bike Club team name, right? Yeah,
Right.
okay.
It's
So-
the same
so
as
Peter,
last
that's-
year. That you have to be a member of the bike club to get the whatever discount might be there
I don't
on the
know.
rooms.
So I'll find out. So on the website, I'm looking at it now, there's about 8 different hotels, 5 bed and breakfasts, and another 5 cottages. So following what Ira said, it would be nice to be close to downtown where the start and end of the races are. And you don't park your car once and you're done. I'll start with that and spread out.
Yeah, that's the Lakeside Inn. I've stayed there.
Lakeside, and there's a couple B&Bs right near that are really nice too.
Yeah, I stayed at one also recently. So, okay, I'll look at the map, figure out, make some phone
All right,
calls. I'll
so-
email the group what I find.
so Peter, for a little flyer, you can, I know Marvin has a way to set up the website to send out a message. And Monica, you do little graphics on your social ride. So I would follow up with Marvin and Monica if you need help getting the message out.
And
Yeah,
just
well,
you can also just put a link on the Facebook page.
I think that's it. The link to the Facebook page, and then if Mark can just send out, basically, it's just the website link and who's
Yeah, but we want to
interested.
have them
Yeah.
contact you for any questions and to
That's fine.
arrange transportation, like group. And then we can do some training rides ahead of the, month or so in advance, do a warm-up
Right.
rides with the club.
And let them know what team name to register under when they go in and register so that they find the
Right.
Boca Bike Club team.
Okay, moving on. Anything else on Mount Dora, guys?
I just put in the link, the chat, also my email address and mobile phone for anybody, Marvin, if you want to send out a blast to the membership or on the website.
Thanks, Peter. Okay, I'm gonna go quick on Frank Stark. I'm gonna talk to Kevin Abate this week. Last year we gave him some seed money. I think it was like $5,000 to start working and getting the police patrol and all that. I think that was too much. I'll talk to Kevin to see how much, maybe just $1,000 just to cover some of the initial expenses. But this would again be the Boca Raton Bicycle Club Frank Stark ride, produced by Kevin's company. However, feedback that I got recently and since the ride is it didn't have the look and feel of the old Frank Stark rides because they were basically just A and B groups. The C group was kind of a discombobulated type of group. And obviously we didn't have the big tent village and all that you had at City Hall. So if to make the ride better, we're going to need more volunteers for a C group level. This will bring in more of the families and some of the riders who don't want to go 28 miles an hour or 21 miles an hour. What are your thoughts on that? Because we need the manpower to put a C group together. And if we're more accessible for C riders or beginner riders, it might have some better long-term benefits for the club. I'm sure we can get volunteers. We usually do. People step up. They want to be a leader for those rides. Any thoughts on that for Frank Stark? Or we should pursue more advertising to the C riders?
What do you think? Like adding like a short loop? Is that?
Yeah, Kevin, we nixed it last year because Kevin Kevin really can't handle, Kevin's too busy with the B, getting everyone to West Palm and back.
Yep.
He doesn't, I mean, I imagine he could get some volunteers and some people he would pay to man a rest stop in Boynton or Lake Worth maybe, but we
What
already
would,
had Lake Worth.
how far would a C group go?
You know, Bruce Clipson had the ideas on that, so I got to bring Bruce in. He's not on the call. Maybe I put Bruce in charge of this, or I can't put him out. Maybe I'll politely ask
Yeah.
if he would help.
He's usually more
So it
than
was
that.
really Bruce. Bruce has a lot of experience in it, and maybe Kurt, who's also had a lot of experience. I know he's not on the call. He might be able to help there, but probably a turnaround in Boynton or something like that. Not really far.
That might
We already
even
have
that
a
might be,
turnaround in Lake Worth if you want.
Boynton might even be too far.
You th-
I
Yeah,
think Boynton is 30, if I'm not mistaken.
well, Delray, Atlantic.
Just
The other
one
thing
other-
is I would prefer, and I don't know what Kevin's gonna say, I'd prefer to do a stop-start village at FAU Stadium. Robert Duquette last year when we were setting this up, or 2 years ago, for $1,000, we could use the parking lot and the bathrooms at the FAU Stadium. Kevin is always against that. He likes the bike shop sponsorship location. Do you guys have any thoughts? Is there anybody that would absolutely refuse to support Frank Stark because we started at Tunes again? And it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it wasn't City Hall either.
Yeah,
No.
How come no City Hall any longer?
Well, one, the permitting, and I guess it was permitting. I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
it just stopped. Um,
It was the permitting. And it was a
Mhm.
stupid process and they were nitpicking stupid stuff and being sort of unresponsive. And then there were added charges at the end. Just I don't know why they weren't supportive.
Electric the day before, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway,
I knew the
so
people
Bruce,
in
you had your
charge of
hand up.
permitting it, and I said, hey, you guys should be letting us do this for free. Sort of shuffled their feet and looked at the ground.
So Bruce, I saw you were gonna say something else besides you had.
No, I just
For
said
the-
I'm sorry, I had to step away. It was an
Oh.
important phone call.
All right.
But I heard my
Um,
name, so I ran back.
No, that was Bruce Clipson.
Oh,
Bruce
The
Clipson's
stadium
name.
would be a great spot.
I know parking is there, the bathrooms are there,
Right.
yeah, I don't see the bike club, the bike shops. I mean, we could probably get more bike shops. They each have a tent and
That's true.
banners and stuff they would hang.
Yeah.
Hey, guys,
Um,
sadly, I have to run. I apologize. I've got a house full of grandkids here, so I
All
gotta
right,
go.
thanks, Ira.
They're clamoring at the door.
All right, so before we go, Ira, real quick, Burger Fondo's coming up in March. I gotta call Kevin this weekend or Monday. We sponsored last year with a t-shirt sponsor. We gave him $2,500. It was a lot of money.
a lot
We
of
had
money.
about 30 club riders. So there was an email that went out earlier. I think we had favorable responses, but I had two kind of like, why are we doing this responses? That's why I want to bring it up. So Ira, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that before you go. But I think we should sponsor some method, some level for Burger Fondo. I'd like to make it, otherwise we don't really do any kind of police supported rides other than the Frank Stark, if, assuming we're gonna get that off the ground this year. So that was it. 2,500 might be a lot, but I think we need to put pressure on ourselves to go find some funds and solicit people to say, hey, this is what the club does. It brings in members, it gets other businesses in the community, gives them a reason why they want to donate, because we do stuff that are not just your 12, 15, riders on a Thursday morning. Anyway, that was it, Ira. If you have to go,
All right,
Great. If
thank
you
you,
want to
guys.
say something, you
Yeah.
can.
Mike, if you could just text me Nell's number, and Nell, I'll reach out to you Monday or Tuesday and we'll figure out a plan.
All right. Thank you, Ira. Appreciate
Excellent.
it very
Thanks,
much.
guys. Everybody have a great day.
Thank
You
you, Ira.
too.
Thanks
Too,
for
Ira.
helping.
Bye now.
Okay, so I'm a big fan of doing these rides. I'm a big fan of throwing money at these rides and trying to get our members. I don't have the stats on Burger Fondo. I know Frank Stark, I think there were 7 people who signed up for the club. Wasn't great. But we don't do anything, we're not going to get anything. So last year was $2,500 sponsorship. We got our name on the center of the t-shirts, and he put our name on all the advertising. We also had a table there and our banners. And I think we gave out one helmet. Can't remember exactly. Because I had some helmets there and some bottles. So what are your thoughts? Do we do the same level? Do we reduce the level? Or do I tell Kevin, don't count the club? Don't include the club in this year's sponsorship.
I think I was one of the people who texted you or emailed you
Yeah,
and said, I didn't
that's
see the
fine.
benefit. I didn't see the benefit of the club of support at that level. We're using money that we raise purportedly for charitable purposes. And even though it does sponsor more or less ride for the police or veterans or whoever it is, veterans. I just didn't see the economic benefit to the club of doing it. So I'm against it. At least at that level.
Yeah, well, I can concur. There was we didn't have enough riders to make the discount. I think we get we were given a
25%.
20% discount and
25.
and Alpha got a 15, then he gave him 20 at the end of the day. We did have the highest discount, but we didn't have enough riders taking advantage. To make it worthwhile, we need to have like 100 riders. To say, hey, we threw in $2,500 and you got a police supported ride with all the food and the t-shirts and the swag and little contest, but we need more than 30 people show up. So I agree with you in that regard, Joe. Any other comments?
Well, I guess I'm taking opposite perspective with it. I thought it was a great ride. If we're from the Frank Stark ride perspective, it's just a traditional Boca Raton Bike Club ride, right? So I guess it depends what we really are looking for to gain out of it, but
Well, I love the ride.
yeah,
The food
do
is
too.
good but the return on investment wasn't there.
Agree.
Yeah, agree. But then who owns that? Does that fall on us as the club, to drive the member, to drive more participation, or is that something we expected out of?
I expected the club to say, hey, I get, it's a $60, whatever, $70 registration. I'm going to save $15. I'm going to get the food. I'm going to get the t-shirt. I'm going to sign up because to have the FHP there, it's very rare. You don't have to stop at the lights. It's a safe ride, even though the A group is fast. But it's a safe ride.
But that was my question, Mike. Is it on the ownership of the club and us as a board in that to drive members to sign up, or is Kevin tasked with driving?
No, Kevin puts it out. He's going to get his
so
200 people signed up anyway, or 150. We brought in 30. Alpha brought 31 riders. I just don't know why he had 250 paid members and only 30 people showed up. I think we had some volunteers that didn't pay. That's why I'm counting the 30. So overall, we might have had less than 25 riders.
And just to be clear, we're talking the Frank Stark ride or the Burger
Fondo.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking Frank Stark ride. Okay, we're talking
No.
Burger Fondo now. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Burger Fondo is kind of a, it's the spring ride when our members are here. So that's the issue. See, and maybe you hear from it that people say, why is Frank Stark in July? I'm not here in July. Who's Ken? What's Ken's last name? Barnett?
Yeah.
I don't know. He was very active. So Ken's like, he's kind of active in the club and whatever. He's a ride marshal like an MS ride. But he goes, I'm in North Carolina in July. Why do you guys do it in July? You guys have no rides for us in this in the season. The ride and eat is nice, but he goes, you got nothing big in the season. So Burger Fondo was what I thought would take over that spot. So because it's mid-March or early March when people are still here. But they're not showing up. I would to move this meeting along. I'll make a motion that I talk to Kevin. We do $1,000 sponsorship level, and see what he says, what we get out of that. And we'll get our names on the T-shirt. But I don't know. He's just gonna have to deal with it. There's $2,500 was to buy 250 T-shirts. That's what happened. It was $10 a shirt,
Right.
250 shirts. That's how we came up with that price. But we don't have any organized ride as a club that we can call this is our club ride. Kevin called it last year the Boca Raton Burger Fondo Tune Cycle ride to support Veterans Trust. Or yeah, the veterans. And it was a fun ride, good food, but we didn't have enough membership show up. So that's my motion to reduce the sponsorship level to $1,000.
Let me just interject here that I think that at least my perception of the Burger Fondo ride is that it's for more the race type riders. So that may sort of put off, our casual recreational riders.
But if we advertise it to them, there's an A group, and yes, but Frank Stark used to be that way too. That A group at Frank Stark, those guys we would just launch out of City Hall and wouldn't even stop at the library or whatever. Turn around and come right back. And it was so when you do a big ride, and even our Frank Stark this year was like that. You had an A group that was just hammered all the way to West Palm, but we were forced to stop at Bill Bone's office, get a rest, and then get back and hammer home. But there's a B group also, which is a casual ride, pretty much it could be a no drop ride because there's marshals waiting. But yeah, we have to market it to say, don't be afraid to come. It's really good for you to come because you're going to have police patrol at your intersections. But we don't do anything as a club. So that's why I think we need to keep it on the calendar. And then those naysayers who say, well, the club doesn't do anything when I'm here, and say, what are you talking about? January is ride and eat. February we did the social or the ladies ride. March was Burger Fondo, big ride. We spent a lot of money on that. You guys need to show up. Stop complaining.
All right, so I'd second your motion for $1,000 and just not really a caveat, but let's try and ask Kevin to promote this for, to the more casual riders.
All right, thanks. Is there okay, is there a
Heard
vote?
it.
Want to have a vote on that or just more discussion?
No,
I'm in with
Monica?
you. I'm good. No, I'm good with you. I'm saying
Thousand's good.
All right, so all those in favor of $1,000 Burger Fondo sponsorship offer, Kevin may say it's not enough and we don't get what we want. I'll have to put on my lawyer hat and negotiate. But before you know it, we'll be spending 40,000 if you let me negotiate. Just kidding. All right, so
you have to agree for pro bono.
Yeah, thanks. All those in favor of $1,000? I see hands, everybody. Okay, unanimous. Thanks, Joe. And no. All right, I just lost my agenda. I know it's getting late. We're losing members quickly. Where's my agenda? So a couple more things. Jeez.
Do we have membership renewals and recruitment?
Yeah, thanks, Monica. I don't know. Marvin, you have a better method of seeing who's renewed the membership. I'm having trouble getting reports that are accurate. I didn't call you ahead of time, Marvin, but is there any way you can tell us how many paid memberships we have?
Um,
I think it was 206, kind of, it shows, but that's at the dashboard level.
We should be higher, really, at this time of year. I was
209.
hoping we'd have closer to 250, frankly. We're getting more hits on Facebook, you know. I think when I started, it was 600 plus Facebook. Now we're like at 900 Facebook followers.
209.
All right, so we got to get the word out. I've always had ideas. So the message that I have for the board is when you're on your rides and you run into the ride leaders, like as a reminder, announce to the group, go out, we need help. You know, if you're riding with guys and they're not, and you know they ride with us or they want to ride with us, get them to pay their dues and sign up, and they'll get all our messaging. They'll get the benefits of our insurance. But also say we need help. We need help with um, the Frank Stark ride. We need help with our Jersey committee. We need help with. We want somebody to go to the bike shops and leave our business cards there. You know, Marvin May. We still have like several hundred cards. Leave them at the shop so people, when they buy a bike or they're in for a repair, they think about, you know, joining the club, and talk to the bike shop guys and have them promote the club when they're selling a bike. Like Anna, who was on earlier, is like, you know, I'd like to know more about what you guys do. If she's in the bike shop and the bike shops are talking, and when I'm there, they're always talking about how great the club is. But once I leave, who knows what they're saying? They they could be saying I wouldn't pay $40 for those guys.
Scott, could you help her?
So try to get the word out there in that realm. And I think when you're on your rides, I think those ride leaders need to get those messages out regularly, because we can
Mike,
only do so much. Yeah.
have we ever considered approaching the bike shops and saying anybody who buys like a gravel bike or road bike would get like a complimentary 1-year membership? That would encourage them.
We've
I
done it.
second the motion.
We've done it.
Yeah. So I think we should do it again. And I don't even think it deserves any discussion. I second Joe's motion that we should do that. But here's what happened. So Christian Cartagena, he's the guy he's one of our sponsors. He was the one who was going to donate the car. He was selling his shoes and his sunglasses and some other apparel items to the bike shop. So Christian said he would do that. This is going back a couple years, that he would be more than happy to get the word out, and he would be our bike shop liaison and talk to all the bike shop owners and have them get free membership. But it didn't work. It didn't happen. He said he could do it. He knew the bike shops guy. It just didn't happen. I think it's a no-brainer, but we need somebody to go into the shops. Now, when we did the Frank Stark ride, Joe, Neil Lustig and somebody else, was it Smith, Jim Smith? There were two guys that contacted me that wanted to go to the bike shops and put up flyers and hand out the cards. I can reach out to them and say, listen, go to the bike shops, and Joe, if you want to do it, do it. You know, here's our plan. We have a little worksheet. If they sell a bike, they can offer the purchaser free membership, and all we need to see is maybe a certificate or something signed by the bike shop that bike sold. We don't need to know what they paid. We don't need to know what the bike was, but some sort of method of verifying they get a free membership. So I second that motion. We just need somebody to go to the bike shops with the plan. Because Christian, I didn't supervise what he was doing. Kurt was president at the time. So I don't know if he even talked to Kurt, frankly, but that's what Christian wanted to do, and we didn't get any, it never happened. Anyway, I'm
Yeah,
done
because-
talking on that topic. So
Yeah.
Joe, is that something you well, let's take a vote unless there's more discussion.
So
Is
the
it?
only,
I
the
think
Delaware,
we tied it in somehow. I gotta look it up, but they gave us a 10% discount. The club members also. The bike shops.
Um,
I'll look it up, see what we did.
yeah,
know we
I
did
think
both.
Conti's might have done that, and Tunes. So Tunes does it for Alpha. They don't like to do it, but I think Tunes does it for Alpha. I don't know about the Trek guys.
I think Tune might do it for us. I know he does it for me, but I'm nobody special, so I'm pretty
Yeah, he
sure.
does do it
I'm
for
pretty
us
sure
too,
Conti
right,
still
Peter?
does.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, we just need somebody to go out there and, Joe, I can reach out to Neil. I forget the other guy and see if they want to go back to the bike shops and hand out our cards. But we need a formal, like, here's the plan and here's what we need from the shop. When you sign on, you're going to get a code, or you're going to have
That's
to
what we did.
upload your receipt or your certificate that you're eligible for free membership this year. And I think it's a no-brainer, frankly, because we're not losing money.
yeah, but then you have to account for it. You want to make sure you're measuring results too, right?
Well,
Yeah.
there's no cost to the bike shop. When they give out, when they sell the bike, they'll hand a certificate. And that person can take a photo of it, send it to Marv,
We did it with
And-
coupons last time,
coupons, whatever.
with numbers.
Yeah, so Joe, can you and Marv figure out how to do that? And then if you guys can't go to the bike shops, I'll call Neil and Jim. I think it was Jim. I guess some guys just love hanging out the bike shops, and I love it too, but I just don't have time. And get it started because, I talked to the guys at Trek and Boca when I go in there, and yeah, I said, you could tell your buyer, it says, hey, we'll give you the bike. We don't really do discounts, but guess what? You get a free, $40 or $50 valued membership to the bike club here. That's something. That's worth $40. So some people, when we all shop, you always want to get something out of it. I don't know how many auto club memberships I have with my car leases, but apparently every time I get a car, I get another club membership of some sort. Now I'm an AARP. Anyway, moving on. So is that okay, Joe? Can you talk to Marvin? Sounds like you have some sort of a.
Yeah, I
history
can
on-
look up what we did last time. I
All
know
right, so
there's a
if-
coupon system within the,
Do we have a list of bike shops that we previously approached or dealt with? I mean, I know the main ones, but
well, then I could just do a search in Google. I mean, no problem.
okay. Yeah, I'll,
I just think
I'll
we need I believe we need some sort of code system rather than just the QR code, because then they'll give it to everyone.
So can you guys just follow up after the meeting and get that done, and then
Yep.
report back to me? And if we need help from outsiders who aren't on the board, which we really should get more outsiders, I'll reach out to them or even send out a message and say, hey, who wants to go hang out at the bike shops? Here's a good reason to go in there. But I want to move on with the meeting. So is that motion, I guess have we voted on that, Bruce?
Nope.
So all those in favor of free club memberships to bike purchasers from the local shops, say, raise your hand. Looks all unanimous, so that passes unanimously. I'm gonna move on. I think maybe at the social, Monica, we'll talk more about people who want to get involved with things like helping with the jerseys and raising money from sponsors. There's not much more we can do other than repeat ourselves from over and over why we need sponsors.
Well, and I think if we just, and I can do this, I can just put a list, pull it off our calendar of the different rides that are coming up and events so that people are aware of, the Burger Fondo, of the Ride for Orphans, Frank Stark, right, those things so that everybody is aware, and just keep reminding them, get on, go register, get involved, come out and ride.
All right, so it's after 1 o'clock. We've been on the phone for an hour, on the call for an hour. I'm gonna jump into new business. I think we've covered everything that I had on the agenda with the socials, the proclamation, Milagro Center, rides. We're talking about, Marvin mentioned the rides. Officer assignments, that's the IRA help as treasurer. So anything else that you have for new business?
Go ahead, Bruce.
Yes, Bruce.
All right, this isn't new business, but it's following up on the safety issue after everyone is appalled at the last big crash. At our advisory meeting to the Transportation Authority, Palm Beach Transportation Authority, I mentioned what happened. The 10 or 12 members of the committee were pretty appalled at the situation, and they pretty much made a resolution for the TPA, the Transportation Authority representative at the meeting, to contact FDOT to come meet with us, with him preliminarily, and then meet with us to go over what we can force them to do or pressure them to do for safety on A1A. Initially, it was to address the issues in Gulfstream, Ocean Ridge, and Manalapan, but they decided we could make it complete A1A through all of Palm Beach County. Apparently up north in the county, there's an issue or two as well. So I haven't heard back yet from Brian Rusher. Do you know him, Mike?
Yeah, he responded to my
To your letter.
resolution immediately. So
He's very responsive, and he's a cyclist as well. So
I didn't know that. So
yeah.
For Anna and Joe, the club supported a resolution after that Gulfstream crash, and I had sent a letter to Gulfstream and to the Florida Department of Transportation, emphasizing what we need for road safety. Brian from the Department of Transportation contacted me that same day with an outline of the plans to improve the roadways on A1A from Boca to Del Rey, but there are absolutely no plans to improve the roadway further north, which is where the accident happened. So that happened. Gulfstream has never responded, not even an acknowledgement. Thank you for your concerns.
Let me just edit what you're saying.
Yeah.
There were plans, like you said, from Boca to Del Rey, but there's opposition in Gulfstream, Ocean Ridge, and Manalapan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming from the towns, not necessarily DOT.
Yeah, it's not the DOT would be more than happy to expand it. But thanks, Bruce. It's 1:10. And I guess Joe and Anna, you got to participate or observe in some meetings. There's a thing like good and welfare. So if there's anything that you have or any ideas that you want to share with the board, now would be the time before I adjourn the meeting. Is there anything you guys want to add, or you have any questions about when the next ride is, or anything about getting on the bike and meeting us for rides? Joe, anything?
Is the website the best place to get your schedule? Still trying to figure out when the rides are and
If
keep
you
up.
go to,
Yes.
yeah, go to the
And-
webpage and the events.
And Joe, what level do you ride at? Because Bruce can add you in, and Bruce or Marvin can add you into our WhatsApp.
More of a
Um,
B level.
All right,
Kind of
so,
bad. Yeah,
and you're mostly on A1A, or are you like,
yeah, usually A1A.
so Bruce, do you mind either in your chat or just giving us your phone number now? Bruce, can you add him to the WhatsApp?
You want to write my phone number down?
Sure.
Or you can just go to the website and look up the Saturday rides. I'm the
Okay.
ride leader and my contact information is there. Are
Oh,
you on
okay.
WhatsApp? Are you on WhatsApp?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay,
am.
so I'll add you in on the ride. That's Saturdays. There are other rides Tuesday and Thursday. Ron Johnson leads those. They're similar speeds there. B plus maybe sometimes. There's always B riders. And so we'll add you in on the chat and we give heads up the day before about conditions for the next day, where to meet, what time,
Okay,
that kind of stuff. So,
that's great. Do you usually have anything on Sunday, or is it more just members do their own things?
it's pretty much members do their own thing. You know, you talk with people on the ride on Saturday or during the week and set something up.
So Sunday around 7:15, I see Jonathan Allen's off now, but 7:15 at Spanish River and A1A, you'll get an A-B type group meet there. But like Bruce said, it's an A1A, it's just kind of just a pickup rides on Sunday for the club. So Bruce, you want to announce your phone number so they can get on the WhatsApp?
Okay. It's 561 251 0548.
Joe, anything else?
I have
Yeah,
something. Go ahead.
the only thing I'd say, just for what it's worth, some feedback you were mentioning on the burger Fonda earlier.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we're both casual riders. When we read what was initially out there about it, our initial reaction was, hey, that's too much for us. We're probably not gonna be able to hang with the group. I think if we had known that it's also something that's marketed to more of a B group, we would have been more interested. We will be more interested into it. So just FYI, it seems like
Right,
it's a little more.
Kevin is a race promoter.
Got it.
And he's focused on getting those A riders,
Excited.
like a free run all the way up to West Palm and back. But there is a B group, and
B group was
and they
doing like
also-
19.
yeah,
Bruce Clips
Um,
about it.
yeah. So and then in Frank Stark there was a C group, but it wasn't well promoted. Anna, you have anything to add or any questions?
Yes, please. What's the easiest way to determine my cycling skill level if I have no idea what rating I am?
What kind of bike do you ride? A road bike, a gravel bike?
I
Uh,
actually want to buy one, so I also need a store. Where do you recommend to get? But
Where do you live? In Boca, you said?
yes,
West, east?
East.
Lots of bike
Uh,
shops.
Yeah, there's a lot of good shops there for premier racing. There's Racer's Edge for families. There's Contes and Trek. They have the top end bikes. You want to spend 10 grand, they have them. You want to spend 2,500, they have them. But for the rides that we do as a club, that we're talking about here, everybody's in a road bike for the most part. There are some
Okay.
few gravel riders, and so those are your race style handlebars and clip-in pedals, and you want gearing that's 20. You have the cassette in the back, so 20 to 24 speeds. You'll be comfortable in a light road bike. Either I think carbon's pretty affordable, so I don't even know what price range you're looking at. But
Okay.
Better.
And
Just to let you know,
Yeah.
if you're more or less a beginner, a sea rider, on Saturday mornings out in Loggers Run, there's a ride that's geared to sea rider, 14 to 16 miles per hour.
is there a way I can just check out my speed on a static bike to find out exactly?
That's
Um,
difficult.
yeah,
So I just have to start with like C's and B's and figure it
Yeah.
out.
Exactly.
As you go
Okay.
farther, you get faster.
Yeah, as you
Okay.
get
Yeah,
out on the
'cause-
bike and get out and start riding, you'll be able to sort of see where your comfort level is at and where you're starting at and go from there. So I would just, yeah, I would encourage you to just, look for a bike that you feel comfortable on, as Mike was saying, and
And
there's ways to reach out to, and even get with the C group, I guess, unless you don't have, if you have anybody you could ride with to just get started out and get riding with your bike, that would be.
And we do other rides along the way. Like the ride and eat has a
Yeah.
split. Even today, we went to an A and B split on today's ride. But and also there was a ladies ride Sunday. I don't think there was a big turnout. We weren't sponsoring it officially. But in that ride too, or the Sunday fun day type rides, you get in there and you'll get a feel for the road, which is different than on a spin cycle. When you're spinning, you can judge your fitness level, your endurance a little bit, but on the road, you might spin for
Anna, do you
45
have a
minutes.
bicycle now?
No, but I play several sports and I have always ridden a bike. So
Okay.
I'm comfortable.
I would recommend, probably, I don't know where else besides Conti's that, might rent a bike.
Okay.
Or you could discuss with them as a beginner.
Right.
And test ride, a
Let them
bike
fit
or
you.
two. And they'll
Yeah.
fit you also. It's important to be on a bike that's properly fitted so you don't end up, with all sorts of weird muscles and pains and stuff. So,
Thank you. And usually it goes for up 2 hours, right? Every time you guys meet.
yeah, that's about, yeah,
2
that's
hour
about
rides.
the average.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
I just had
I'm
one
gonna-
question.
Sure, Murray.
Last year we didn't sponsor it. Do we want to sponsor the ride, the tour de force for the police? A lot of, in years past, like way back when we gave them enough money, they would give us rides back from Jupiter for the second leg. So and we used to have like 13 to 18 riders when we did it. So I don't know, should I check it out? Because
I
we
think
get on their jerseys, whatever.
I think we're not raising until we figure out our sponsors and our jersey sales and how we're raising money. My suggestion would be, I've never ridden the ride, but who in the club that wants to ride the ride, if there are going to be 20 riders, then yeah, we should throw some money there. But if we're only going to get 4 or 5 riders, like, I think today or this weekend's Dolphin Challenge, we might have about 6 riders that I know are doing the challenge. It's not enough to sponsor,
Okay.
my opinion. But if if they're going to get 18 riders to show up,
I'll send something out, because that's how we did it in years past.
all right, thanks. All right, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. It's 1:19. Thanks for being so patient today. I want to
Thank
thank
you.
Nell again for her time this week
Thank
and all
you.
the work she's done this year and the prior years. So Nell, you, Ira, and I will get together soon to
Yes.
upload those QuickBooks things. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Bruce,
Thank you.
1:20 p.m. meeting adjourned.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.